what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid preview. This is the first Real Madrid preview after the international break. It is the second home game of the season after the Getafe game. It is the preview to Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. A massive game this because Real Sociedad will definitely be challenging for the top 4 spots coming towards the end of the season. So it's not an easy opponent, it's not going to be an easy game. So a lot of caution will have to be taken going into this game, considering the quality that I think Real Sociedad do indeed have. But this is actually, in my opinion, one of those games that you really have to look at and go, we have to win this to prove that, you know what, we are capable of winning La Liga this season. Because realistically, Barcelona will beat Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid will beat Real Sociedad if they are, at their best. So if we go out there and we don't get to, beat Real Sociedad, what does it say? Does it say that we are not at our best at the moment, or does it say that we're just not good enough? Either way, it does not look good as an image. So you have to win winning this game. Barcelona can easily catch up. Atletico Madrid missed the game against Sevilla due to flooding, but they smacked Rayo Vallecano 7-0 like 2 weeks ago. So realistically, they are on absolutely good form. Barcelona, they will get back, they'll bounce back. So, you know what? It's not even like we have a massive lead or massive advantage. It's not even that big of an advantage. Realistically, we are on par with these teams. So, we have to continue winning. We can't afford to drop points. We just can't, really. But, let's talk about Real Sociedad a bit. They've got a good team. Is Solov still there? They've got Take Kubo, the former Real Madrid player, who's one of the better players really. Oyarzabal is still there, Marino's there, in their midfield. They've got Lenormand. They've got a lot of very decent players in their team, which is why they are a top 4 team. But based on how they started, they haven't exactly gotten off to the best possible start. They drew their first 3 games against, was it Girona, Las Palmas, and if I'm not wrong, was it Athletic Club? Or was it another team? I have no idea. And then they beat Granada 5-3. So, yeah, they've gotten to a alright start. It's not a particularly amazing start, but, 3 draws and a win, so they got 6 points out of a possible 12. So, it's alright. Real Madrid, of course, 12 from 12. So, realistically, so far the start, Real Madrid have had a better start, of course, but it doesn't really mean much if you're, playing head to head. But the problem arises, as always, the team. What is going to be the team that plays against Real Sociedad? Now, I've actually gone with a pretty similar team as I did against Getafe because I just don't see any changes until we start seeing games like the Champions League and the domestic cup games. So, my team is basically the same except for one change. Kepa will definitely play, Lunin will not play. Kepa will be trusted. Fungasia is the only choice. I don't think Mendy's back. I don't think he's still fit. We've got Alaba and Rudiger because they have to play. And Carvajal because I don't think he needs to be rested yet. So there's my back 5. I think it's going to be the same back 5. The midfield. I feel like Camavinga will play. I think Tchouaméni will play because you kind of want a defensive, minded player in the midfield. And I've changed Valverde in this one for Toni Kroos because I've always, not always, but in the last 2-3 match days, my predictions, my previews, I've gone Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Bellingham as my midfield, and it's not really ever happened since match day 1 where we played all 4. Ancelotti has seemingly started one of Modric or Kroos with these young midfielders. And, you can really, toss a coin. Is it going to be Modric? Is it going to be Kroos? I've gone Kroos. I have no idea why. I just have the feeling. Of course, he doesn't have an international game. Obviously he's retired from the Germany national team, and I think Modric will just be given more time to rest. So I've gone Cruz. Cut. And then for the front three, it's gonna be Bellingham. It has to be Joselu, and it has to be Rodrigo because Vinicius Junior is still out. Um, Arda Güler is still out. Maybe Brahim Diaz, but I don't see him play. So realistically, when you talk about what we have available, except for the midfielder we can rotate, you're realistically looking at the same 11 every week now. So there is a problem, but I think this is going to be the team. I think this will definitely have to be the team. Um, but as of the start so far, I thought we've been pretty solid so far this season. It's been a pretty good start, but can we keep that up? Because realistically, you look at the first few games that we've played so far. You have Atletico Bilbao, you have Celta Vigo, you have Almeria, and you've got Getafe. None of those four teams so far have been teams in the top four. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. This is not trying to be a disrespect. But, actually, they actually aren't top four contenders. They're not. Right? They're mid-table teams for sure, but they're not up there for the top four. Real Sociedad are a top four team. They have proven it before, and, they have the quality. Like I've talked about. Kubo, Marino, Oyarzabal, Sorloth, Lenormand, Romero, they have a good, very good team. So they're not going to be what we expect. So realistically, you have to be playing. Everyone has to give their 100% for this game. Everyone has to give their 100%. We can't just say, "Oh, Bellingham, can you please help us again and score a 95th minute winner again?" Or something like that, really. Because if you go 1 or 2 nil down in this game, Sociedad can just use their quality, use their experience, and just hold on to it. They have that compared to the other teams that we've played so far. So you have to go 1 nil up in this kind of game, because if you go 1 nil down, the game will be very tough to get back into. Of course, if you go 1 nil down, Sociedad will just play the defensive game. But of course, because they are very good going forward, they'll hit on the break with Kubo. So realistically, they will definitely be able to win 2-3-0, as we've seen before. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a very, very interesting game. I want to talk about who are Barcelona and Atletico Madrid playing, anyways. Um, I mean, we can have a look. Well, Barcelona are playing Real Betis at home, so that's an interesting game. And Atletico are playing Valencia away, so not particularly easy games for both teams. But I still expect both Barca and Atletico Madrid to get 3 points. So you have to be keeping up with them as well. But of course, this is going to be the last game until you got a Champions League coming up as well. So as I've talked about before, you have to be winning this game, because who knows what's going to happen after the Champions League returns. Fatigue will kick in. Injuries. Tired. All these factors will kick in again. So right now it's almost a game a week. You just had some players going international duty, some players have had their rest. But right now it's realistically the best period of the season, because you're playing 1 game a week basically, and yeah, you're getting maybe not a lot, but sufficient at least amount of rest time. Once you get 2-3 games a week, you are really, really going to get the kicking factor into it. So you have to be taking maximum point for the first few games, of course. My prediction, I don't see us walking over them, of course. I'm actually going to predict. Can I predict a draw? Can I? You know what? I'm gonna go with 2-1 win for Real Madrid. I want to say 1-1 draw, but I'm not gonna be that negative. It feels negative, but I'm gonna go positive vibes. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Real Madrid win. Let's hope that we can actually get that, because that would be a very solid result, of course. But let me know what your predictions are down below. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button if you did, subscribe, the channel's on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.